You are looking at episode 8 in my work truck conversion series. The truck is running for a change. That's kind of nice. And in this episode, we got to kind of like patch things back together. We got to get the flatbed on the truck. We got to get the wood on the flatbed. And then I'm thinking that before we take it out for a test ride, we might need to hook up the lights. There's really nothing quite like running your diesel engine in your garage. Just good for it. All right, we gonna come out of there? You gonna come out? Oh, you're gonna stay. You can stay. All right, flatbed's on the truck, bolted in at all 8 positions. I hadn't done that before. You know, previously I was just 1, 2, 3, 4, kind of semi-bolting it in. But anyway, these guys are like locked down. They got lock washers underneath and they're all torqued and everything. Truck is currently undergoing the tink test, which seems to be going pretty well. I think she likes the old truck. And next up, I got the wood. Wood is going on the deck. If you didn't catch this early on, the design, so to speak, I don't know if you can call it that, but is basically that the wood members rest on these cross pieces. There are 4 of them, and it slots in here at the end. And actually it slots in on the sides too. That way there's not like a lip or anything, you know, it's all like kind of under. And these guys are taking just a little bit of planing, just a wee bit of planing on the ends, just to get them to kind of tuck smoothly. You know, with that bed liner, we got just a little bit of rubble. Attachment points on these bad boys are going to be here. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's pretty much wedged in on the ends. All right, now, I guess I try to play it like a little cool with stuff sometimes, you know. You finish something and you just move on to the next step, but right now, I'm just looking at this thing and I'm just really liking it. I just want you to know that I recognize that having a socks only policy on the work truck flatbed just doesn't really make sense. But right now, I just got a socks only policy. At some point, I will get to the place, I promise you, where I can put a pair of work boots on this thing. But right now, it's just socks, all right? We're just taking it one step at a time. All right, so what's next with the flatbed? I've got to reattach the gas, fuel, diesel situation. I got to rewire everything. And then we get a little joyride. So this is just the wiring harness for that rear floodlight. It's going to be powered off the battery, grounded, and it's got a relay right here. Then I'm running the control into the cab. You know what I really need to do is set up a power distribution block in here. That's just cool. You know, you juice it off the battery, and you've got like a block you can tie everything into instead of tying to the battery. But right now I'm just tying to the battery, and I'll hook it up last once the lights are all attached. So I don't know if you guys agree with this principle, but I kind of learned it indirectly from my stepdad, which is basically the idea is that the more holes you drill in your vehicle, you know, like, let me see if that's the right spot. That seems pretty good. You know, the more holes you drill, the more, you know, like the more customizations you make, the more tweaks and stuff, the more you feel like it's yours, you know? Like you get that new car and it's kind of like, it's all generic, you know? It looks like everybody else's new car. But then, man, once you like, you know, weld that rack on the back or drill some holes in the dash, that vehicle is like, you know, it becomes like bonded to you. It becomes your connected part of yourself or whatever. Oh, that could be it. That's real close. You know what I'm gonna do here? I'm gonna get this right, but I'm not gonna click it in. Then I'm gonna bring my wires up through here and make my connections. I just cut this off because I didn't want to run these guys through my hole in the firewall. I'd rather just fish straight wires, not wires with a bunch of connections. Okay, now I guess the test is if I got my hole anywhere near right. It's a little tight. Oh no, it's good. Is it good? It's just sweet. Now I have to avoid every temptation to not just put like a million buttons and stuff everywhere, but I do have room for one or two more here, and then, you know, after that you just start building them out all over the dashboard and stuff. So I was just down here poking around routing these wires, and the exhaust manifold is definitely leaking. You can see all the soot and stuff. I was thinking it was leaking up here, like out of the block or whatever, but the leak is right here. I think that's like the up tube maybe. So I'll have to, you know, do a little Googling, try to figure it out. So the lights are pretty sweet, but I also like the button just because it gives me a little indicator. You know, the best thing about having backup floods like this is leaving them on and just kind of driving, and then someone pulls up next to you and they're like, dude, your floodlights are on. And then the little running lights on the headache rack are working. Got my license plate light working, but you know, I might move things around a little bit. It's kind of being blocked by the backup camera. Oh, I also put the old 7-pin trailer connection on here. It's one that also has a 4-pin, which for me is good because sometimes I run my trailer with the 4 and sometimes I run my trailer with the 7. It's a little bit ratty, but I figure with a little bit of spritz, it might look a little bit better. Oh man, this guy has been out here trying to get this boat around the corner for about 20 minutes now. You can see we got the traffic lined up. And the thing about this boat, it's like a big old yacht, is that there is no water anywhere near this place. Like, not at all. And just because I try to show you guys everything, I want to mention that I moved the backup camera down here. It's got some kind of light sensor on there, so the lights kind of kick on when it's dark. I like that. It's like high tech. Anyway, it was like cheapo on Amazon. I moved it down here so it's got a better view of the hitch. So basically, it's a hitch camera, you know? It's going to show me my ball and exactly when it's coming in on the trailer. That's what you're going to see. So I've got on a switch with the utility cigarette lighter. I could hardwire this thing into the reverse lights, but I don't really use a backup camera just to back up all the time. It's really just a hitch cam. if you were attached to these rectangular lights that were on the flatbed until about 10 minutes ago, my apologies, I pulled them off. They had just a couple problems. One was the fact that they stick out and were just inevitably going to get snapped off and broken and just cracked and stuff. The other was the wiring setup. This truck is wired with a brake / turn signal light. These guys were all independent, so I don't want to really have to rewire everything. So instead, I picked up a bunch of these discs. Kind of simple and clean, and I'm going to go 3 discs on each side. All right, so everything's buttoned up, or pretty much buttoned up. Good enough for the highway, I think. So Melissa said she'd come out on a joyride, but she also has something about wanting to bring a cell phone in the event that we broke down. I don't exactly know what that's about.
He's a good driver.
Well, that wraps up the flatbed portion of this work truck conversion project. Now, I'm not actually done converting out this work truck. There's more coming. You know, it still needs storage boxes on the back and just 1 or 2 minor insignificant things under the hood. Now, I hate to say it, but it's almost looking like a going to town rig. All right, thanks for checking it out, and I appreciate your support along the way.